Crazy thing about the dog waste removal industry is that some scoopers are generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue literally picking up dog poop. The only thing that might be crazier than that is just how inexpensive it is to actually get into the pooper scooper business. In this video, I'm going to walk you guys through item by item exactly how much it costs to start your own dog waste removal business. And for those with a little bit more money to invest and want to go all in on this business, I'm going to share my top tips as far as where to spend your money to just skyrocket the growth of your pooper scooper business. So let's get into it. For those that don't know, my name is William. I'm the president of a 7-figure pooper scooper business in the Pacific Northwest and the founder of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School. Today, I'm really excited to share with you guys the item by item breakdown for how much it costs to start your own dog waste removal business. The way this is going to work, I'm going to have our editor put the total in the top right hand corner of this video so you can follow along. And without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so probably the most important part of starting your pooper scooper business is actually buying the right equipment. So the first part of this video, we're going to go over all your equipment costs and some of the best equipment that we actually use at Poop Scoop. So number one is going to be the Corona extendable garden rake, which you can pick up for $25.50 on Amazon. This is the rake that we use in all our location for all our companies, all our employees. They use this basically same garden rake. Number two is going to be a lobby dustpan. You can pick that up for $35 on Uline right now. And the thing about these lobby dustpans is when you actually get them, you want to flip the handle backwards because it will protect your wrist from getting injured because it's going to be a lot more ergonomic. Number three, you're going to need a 2-inch metal clamp, and that's what we use to basically attach our trash bags to the lobby dustpan so they don't fly off and dog waste doesn't go everywhere. And you can pick those up for $2.69 right now on Amazon. Next up is going to be your 13-gallon trash bags. You can get a 120 bag box on Amazon for $18.61. And this next item is probably going to be the most expensive item on the list, and that's just because you have to buy it in bulk. You might be able to find smaller quantities somewhere for cheaper, but this is going to be your kennel grade disinfectant. Do not skip out on this. It's one of the most important things that you can buy. If you don't disinfect your equipment or your shoes in between each yard, you are putting your clients' dogs at risk of getting parvo or other diseases that could potentially end the dog's life. Something you definitely want to avoid. And that disinfectant in bulk probably last you over a year, costs $77.95. And the last thing you're going to need as far as scooping equipment is going to be a 1-gallon garden pump. So you're basically going to mix the disinfectant in water, put it in that garden pump, pump it up, and you're going to use that to spray off and clean all your equipment. And that right now is $14.98. So that's basically all the essential scooping equipment that you'll need to go out and actually start making money right away. And the total cost for that is $174.73. If you didn't want to be a legit business, which I recommend that you do that because there's a lot of earning potential in the industry, you can literally go out there and start making money with $175 right now. Get a Venmo account, you get some free posts on Facebook groups to get some customers, and you can start making money less than $200. That's the first section. We're going to go through the rest of making your business legit. The next set of expenses you'll incur when starting your dog waste removal business is going to be all the legal stuff that it actually takes to start and operate any legal business. So this is going to vary state by state, as each state has different regulations, different laws, different processes for actually incorporating your business. So I'm just going to go through some of the numbers within Washington State because that's where we're located. So in Washington State, before you start a business, you have to file for a certificate of formation, which in our state costs $180. And then on top of that, you'll have to also file for a business license, which costs $90. And then depending on what cities within Washington you operate in, you're going to have to pay an additional fee for each city endorsement. Those are kind of the two main fees that you're going to incur. The next couple of things you'll need to do to start a legit business, you'll have to get your EIN number, and you'll just go to the IRS website to do that. And thankfully, that doesn't cost any money. And then once you have the business license, the EIN number, you're actually able to go into the bank and start a business bank account, which technically doesn't cost any money to start, but you'll probably have to fund that account with either $20, $50, $100, depending on which bank you decide to go with. While we're on the legal topic, one other thing that you should consider is getting business insurance. So you want to shield yourself from as much liability as possible, and business insurance really isn't too expensive, especially when you're first starting out. So you can either go online, do a quick search for Pooper Scooper business insurance. There's some carriers that work specifically with the industry, and I think I found some rates as low as $15 a month. So something you could definitely check out. The other option I recommend is to call a local business broker, somebody that can shop multiple insurance carriers and get you the best coverage and the best price. Once you add up all of these expenses, we'll just say the filing fees, business license, and the business insurance, you're looking at about $285 if you were to incorporate in Washington State. So if you guys wanted to stop there, you literally could be a legally operatable business that is licensed and insured with all the scooping equipment you could possibly need to get started for less than $500. There's not a lot of businesses that you can start that inexpensively, and the cool thing about this as well is that you can actually grow this business without spending much money. You just need a Facebook account, and you can go and post in free buy-sell trade groups. You can network with friends and family, go to free business events, and you can actually start generating money right away from that. The only challenge you might have is with processing payments, but there's nothing saying you can't go get a Venmo account or a Zelle account or take cash or checks. You can operate this business for as little as $460 is what it came out to, which is cool. But most of us probably don't want to just run on a shoestring budget, and you want to invest a little bit more money into your business so you can grow it faster. So this next section, I'm going to talk about some of the should-haves that's going to make your life about a million times easier when you're running your business. All right, now that we've gone over the need to have items to start your business, it's time to talk about some should haves. And some of these should haves you really should have, would not recommend going without them. First and foremost, that's going to be getting a good CRM. There's a couple different options in the dog waste removal industry. There's Sweep and Go, Jobber, Yardbook, and probably a handful of others. Poop Scoop, we decided to go with Sweep and Go, and that's probably one of the best decisions that we ever made. As a new business, you can get started with them for as little as $29 a month, but I would recommend going with their advanced plan, which is $99 a month, because that unlocks a lot more features, including client onboarding, where customers can literally go to your website and just sign themselves up for services. Highly recommend that. And just as a side note, if you are a Poop Scoop Millionaire community member, you are eligible to receive 50% off your Sweep and Go subscription price for the first 6 months, and then 15% off for the life of your Sweep and Go subscription. So just something to keep in mind. And with that, that brings us to number 2, should have expenses. You should have access to good educational material. So I always recommend that new Pooper Scoopers join the Poop Scoop Millionaire community, where they can get access to courses, access to over 100 other dog waste removal business owners that can kind of help coach and mentor them and help them avoid some of the key mistakes when first starting the business. The next thing after that, I recommend getting some other software. Number 1 is going to be the ChatGPT Premium. So that's $20 a month. And this is really cool because you can actually generate images and even logos for your business. So this is a great hack to avoid spending a bunch of money on designers or things like that. And you can also write website copy, email copy. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of, ChatGPT can help with that. After that, I recommend getting a Canva Pro account. I believe the cost is $15 a month, but you're going to be able to use this to make your Facebook ads, your Facebook posts. You can use this to make your business cards, flyers, pretty much anything creative. You're going to be able to build that on Canva, and it's relatively inexpensive. So I would recommend that as something you pick up. After that, you're going to want to get something to basically keep track of all your expenses. We use QuickBooks Online. It's relatively inexpensive. I think that's $35 a month. After that, you're going to want to get a website, domain name, and a professional email. We usually get all our stuff through GoDaddy. I think for around $20 a month, you can get all those things. So you'll be able to actually build your website. And I recommend when you're getting started, just build a super simple website, talk about the services you offer. And if you do get Sweep and Go, have that client onboarding tool set up. Believe it or not, over time that will have customers just start trickling in without even advertising, because you'll start showing up on Google eventually. So highly recommend that. And then the other part of that is getting a professional domain. So my email is my name at swoopscoop.com. You're probably going to want the same. People, not always, but sometimes they'll get kind of sketched out if they're dealing with a business that's an at Gmail or at Yahoo or at Hotmail. And it looks a lot better and is a lot more professional to have your at domain email. Pretty inexpensive as well. Next thing on the list is going to be business cards. If you have your Canva Pro account, you can order 500 business cards for $50, and you can have them delivered to a local print shop or just shipped right to your house. You can also get trifolds. So you can have little trifold brochures, and you can hand those out to vets or commercial properties. And you can also get those printed on Canva inexpensively for $83 for 100 trifolds. Next thing you're going to want, if you're not going to do a full wrap on your vehicle, is going to be car magnets. So you can put one on each side of your vehicle or preferred transportation method. And you can get those on Vistaprint for $98.99. And the final should have is going to be some kind of uniform. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could literally just be a t-shirt with your logo on it, and you can get those shirts. I'd recommend getting at least 3 from a place like Rush Order Tees for about $60 for 3 shirts. So those are kind of my 10 should haves when you are starting a dog waste removal business. If you were to get all those things from the places I said, you'd be spending around $500. So and that's going to bring your grand total up to $958.55 for all the items we discussed, including your scooping equipment, your legal requirements, and your should have expenses. So to wrap up this video, we're going to talk about some of those nice to have items. And these are going to be quite a bit more expensive than anything else we've talked about in this video so far. So these are typically only going to be expenses for people that are 100% serious about starting their pooper scooper business. They know this is the right industry for them, and they're willing to go all in and put their money where their mouth is. The great thing about these expenses, though, is they should generate more customers for your business and help you recoup that upfront investment even faster. So number one, it's going to be getting a full vehicle wrap. So this is actually our third best lead channel behind Facebook and Google. We get phone calls almost every single day because people see our fully wrapped vehicles. So depending on the size of vehicle you have, if you have a little fuel efficient car, you might pay anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000. And if you have a full size truck, you could be paying anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 to get this full wrap. But the thing I really like about this is not only is it going to be out on the road promoting your business, you can also take pictures of yourself in front of your truck and use that in social media posts or other online advertising. From my experience, if you have a picture of yourself in your uniform standing next to a fully wrapped branded truck in the pooper scooper industry, those ads always perform the best. Highly recommend doing that. Number two is going to be to get a professionally designed website. So I know I talked about in some of the earlier stages just getting a simple website, but if you have money to spend, I would highly recommend ramping that up a little bit and getting a professionally designed website. The cost for this can range like quite a bit. I mean, you can get a website for a couple $100 all the way up to $100,000 for a website. But in the home service industry, especially one that's not as competitive as others, I'd recommend spending around $2,500 to get this website put together. And you're going to want to interview a few different designers, make sure that they're building the website to load fast, make sure they're following some basic SEO best practices, and making sure that the website is integrated with your CRM like Sweep and Go so you can actually onboard customers when they hit that website and see what you have to offer. After that, I always like to recommend getting yard signs and putting them in neighborhoods that you want to service. So if people are seeing these yard signs, they're seeing your wrap truck, they're seeing you interacting with people in certain communities, they're going to start associating the service with you, and it's going to pique their curiosity, and they're probably going to Google you and potentially sign up for services. And one tip when it comes to yard signs is to keep them super simple. I see some people, they have a ton of text on it, they got QR codes, they got all sorts of stuff, and people are driving by, nobody can read all that stuff. So keep it super simple. Just say one thing, maybe just have your website, your logo, and the service that you provide. That's typically going to perform the best with yard signs. Looking online, if you go to Vistaprint or a place like Dope Marketing, you can typically find deals to get around 100 yard signs for about $500. So not crazy expensive, but you will see a return on those as well. And then kind of the final thing that is a nice to have is a healthy marketing budget. So as I mentioned before, our top 2 channels to acquire customer are going to be Facebook and Google. So if you could spend around $100 a day on Facebook ads, you should see pretty good results depending on what season it is, where your market is, and if you are actually executing these strategies the correct way. But as I mentioned, if you got your truck wrap, it's going to make your Facebook ads perform better. And the next paid advertisement that you're going to do is Google ads, and along with the truck wraps and the Facebook ads, when people see these other advertisements, they're going to be likely to Google you. And if you're running Google ads, you're going to be able to capture those searches. And then also, if you have a good website, you're going to be able to actually convert those searches into paying customers. So as you develop your marketing strategy and you start implementing all these additional marketing channels, they all start to work together and actually make your advertising more efficient. Because then people are seeing you all over town, right? They see your wrap truck drive by, they see a yard sign, they see you on Facebook, then they Google your service and sign up. So they all kind of play a part and help each other work better. So all in all, if you were to do all of those things, you're looking at about $10,000 to get ramped up. But if you execute it correctly, you're in the right season and you're doing all the right things when it comes to those advertising channels, you should see a return relatively quickly. I mean, you could see a return as soon as 1 or 2 months. So just again, depends on how well you execute. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that made it this far in the video, and I really hope that information helped you guys as far as the cost to start your business. So just as a quick recap, bare bones minimum, just getting the equipment, you're looking at about $175. Getting your equipment and getting legal, you're looking at around $450. Getting all the equipment, getting legal, and getting all your should have items, you're going to be just under $1,000. And then basically after that, the sky is the limit. So one thing I didn't talk about in this video was the cost to have a vehicle or transportation. So if that's something that you don't currently have and you need to purchase, that's just another expense that you will need to add into these calculations. Hope this helped. If you guys want to learn more about starting your own dog waste removal business, you can check out our free blog at scoopstart.com. You can check out our paid community, the Poop Scoop Millionaire on School, or you can check out some of these other videos here on our YouTube channel. Thanks again and happy scooping.